And we are live. How are you guys doing out there? My name is John Crump, and you guys know who I am. I just we're talking to a bunch of you guys over on Rumble, but now we are back on John Crump Live, and we are going to be talking about what is going on in Massachusetts with a team of not one, not two, not three, not four, but five gun rights groups teaming up to fight the good fight in Massachusetts. We're talking about the only Gun Owners of America, National Rifle Association, Firearms Policy Coalition, Goal, which is a local group in Massachusetts, another local group in Massachusetts. Let me actually bring it up so I don't want to leave anyone out. So just I just want to make sure that I get everyone in there. I don't want to leave anyone out. I already left someone out on the thumbnail, but whatever. Okay, so it's Gun Owners Action League, which is Goal. It is the Commonwealth Second Amendment, which is another Massachusetts gun rights group. Firearms Policy Coalition. There you go. The Second Amendment Foundation, which is another good one. The National Rifle Association, and Gun Owners of America. I think this case has more gun rights groups than any other case I have ever seen in my life. And this is good. What we are doing is we are challenging the rule in Massachusetts that would actually block. Okay, Massachusetts right now, you have to be 21 to carry. So if you're 18, too bad, too sad, you can't carry a gun. So what this would do is this would challenge that law. And that is a good thing because the law damn needs to be challenged. So that is really good. I think Rich was supposed to be joining me, but I don't know where he is. So let me just go ahead and I'll put this up right here. I'm gonna add this to the stage here. And I'm gonna just blow this up here. I'm gonna make it bigger here, and we're going to read this 12-page complaint. Actually, I'm gonna text Rich and see if he's coming on here. Let me see. Let me just text him really quick. If not, you coming? All right, I just well, we won't worry about that. All right, so we're gonna read through this, and we are going to learn what's going on. This is Escher versus Noble. Noble is the superintendent of the Massachusetts State Police, which oversees like gun stuff, right? We're gonna go through this. And good on Mac Escher for stepping up. This is a good thing. So the complaint reads: the Second Amendment to the United States guarantees the right of the people to keep and bear arms. Under the constitutional provisions, law abiding 18 to 20-year-old citizens of the Commonwealth, including members of the Plaintiffs' Gun Owners Action League, Commonwealth Second Amendment, Firearms Policy Coalition, Second Amendment Foundation, National Rifle Association, and Gun Owners of America, such as Plaintiff Mac Escher, has an enumerated right to keep and bear arms. Basically, keep and bear common firearms for self-defense and defense of families and other lawful suits. The Second Amendment protection of the people covers all members of the political community, not an unspecified subset. And this was said in Heller. You wonder who the political community is. It is people that have reached the age of majority. In the United States, that is 18. They will argue that it's 21 because of the founding era. The age of majority was 21, but also like the people didn't consist of black people or women back then either. but whatever. But there's also militia laws and stuff like that. So 18-year-olds was always able to carry firearms. But there's right there. As arms, Second Amendment protects the possession and use of weapons that are in common use at the time. That was said in Bruin. Very, very important case. I am sure everyone here knows about Bruin, and yeah, you know about Bruin. The Bruin said that only text, tradition, and history can be used to justify a gun law. So we're going to get into all of that in a second. I bet. I don't know. I haven't read it. I'm reading this with you for the first time, but I am almost positive that we are going to cross that bridge here. Before we get into that, if you want to give a super chat, that would be great. I am trying to make a living of this, and if I do that, I can be a real pain in the ATF ass for a lot longer than I am. It could be a lot more. So we're gonna get back into this, but let me just do something really, really quick here. You might hear noise. Sorry, over here. All right, I'm gonna set a goal for super chats. 10 super chats. We'll get a bonus. There you go. We just all right. All right. So let's get back into the document here. Okay, here it is. As for arms, Second Amendment protects the possession of weapons that are in common use at the time. The United States Supreme Court accordingly rejected the notion that the Second Amendment only applies to muskets and sabers. One of the arguments that they try to make is only arms that was around during the founding period are protected. The United States for Rahimi, rather than just as the First Amendment protects modern forms of communications, the Fourth Amendment applies to modern forms of search. The Second Amendment extends prima facie to all instruments that constitute bearable arms, even those that were not in existence at the founding. He's anti misfit with the $2 super chat here, and for some reason I can't see it. The hell? Thank you, super for the $2 super chat, Zanti. I really appreciate that. But HB 4885, Massachusetts enacted the defendant has the authority to enforce wide-ranging restrictions on that right. For 18 to 20-year-old adult residents of Massachusetts, like Escher, HB 4885 bans the purchasing, possession, or carrying of any handgun, semi-automatic firearm whatsoever. When the Second Amendment plain text covers the individual conduct, the Constitution presumptively protects that conduct. Very important there. The government must demonstrate that the regulation is consistent with the nation's historical tradition of firearms regulations. That's from Bruin, of course. Trying to fix it. Oh, I don't know. Applying the analysis here is fatal to the challenged law. Adults between the ages of 18 and 20 are definitely part of the people, which I 100% agree of. They are definitely part of the people. And not only that, but there is no historical tradition of limiting firearms rights of adults on account of their age. And as for the type of firearms that Massachusetts forbids them from owning, much less in carrying, there is no dispute that they qualify as arms within the plain text of the Second Amendment. Handguns and semi automatic firearms are, in fact, the most popular type of firearms in the country today. There is no founding era historical tradition banning commonly owned firearms. Indeed, the Supreme Court has already held that both common types of arms, whether the reason handguns are the most popular weapon chosen by Americans for self defense at home, and the complete prohibition of their use is invalid, noting that semi automatic firearms traditionally have been widely accepted as lawful possessions, noting that semi automatic rifles are commonly available. Therefore, the law challenged here are unconstitutional and must be enjoined. Pretty cool, right? I cannot see. any of the posts in the super chats, so I'm not really sure what you guys said. But yeah, so basically they're saying that the Second Amendment protects the conduct and there is no historical reference to limiting arms for 18-year-olds from the founding era. Now it's up to Massachusetts. They're going to have to present anything from the founding era to actually show that. I'm trying to get. Hold on. All right. Give me a second here. Oh, okay. Blue Rock says Jared and Guns and Gadgets called the state's Massachusetts. 100%. I don't know why my chats aren't showing up on here. I'm showing super chat. Oh, here it is. There you go. Thank you guys. All right. So let's get back into wait. All right. I don't know why it's doing this, but okay, let's get back over here. Jurisdiction. The jurisdiction, we're gonna skip all that, whatever. The plaintiffs are the guy complaining and all the gun rights groups. We're not gonna go through all that. You guys know who they are, or you should. And the defendant is the superintendent of the Massachusetts Police. And here's some history. On July 25th, 2024, Governor Healy signed an omnibus bill altering several respects to the Massachusetts laws pertaining to firearms. They enacted a special restriction to 18 and 20-year-old adults that entirely bans 18 and 20-year-old adults from acquiring, possessing, or carrying semi-automatic firearms or of any type or any handgun, which is the Lions, man. Voltron Lions. As revised, the Massachusetts law permits individuals to possess, purchase, transfer, or carry firearms either pursuant to a carry license, but you can't get it if you're not over the age of my monitors are all screwed up. I'm sorry about this, guys. Keep doing what you're doing for the community. Thank you so much for there, Big Dre. Big Dre is a great guy. So it's the defendant. Um, However, 18 to 20-year-olds are eligible only for a firearms identification card, and the firearm identification card does not permit its holder to purchase, possess, or transfer any handgun or semi-automatic firearms. Basically, Massachusetts said you can have a firearms identification card, but it's useless because you can't acquire any firearms, you can't carry any firearms, and you can't own any firearms. But you can own a firearms identification card. So what they are trying to do is they are trying to claim that that gives them the A-OK to do whatever the hell they want. It's crazy. Like even 15-year-olds can get firearms identification cards in Massachusetts. This justification has no basis in either the text of the Second Amendment or our nation's history. As a textual matter, the Second Amendment protects the right of the people without the respective age. Historically, 18-year-olds have been understood to be part of the people who have the right to carry and own firearms. On May 8th, 1792, mere months after the Second Amendment ratified, Congress mandated that every free, able, white body male who shall be of the age of 18 and under the age of 45, except as herein exempted, shall severally be carried, basically saying that they have to carry firearms. The individual states followed suit, basically all of them. There's once the Second Amendment was ratified, every one of the 13 states enacted a militia law that set the age at 18, not 21, 18. And that's very, very important. This historical evidence therefore establishes a tradition of acquisition, ownership, possession, and public carry of commonly owned firearms by 18 to 20-year-olds, all conduct that the defendants now deny plaintiffs. Unsurprisingly, while a historical condition required 18 to 20-year-olds to be armed, there were zero laws from the period surrounding the ratification of the Second Amendment that specifically restricted the ability of 18 to 20-year-olds to acquire or carry common firearms for lawful purposes. The founding era understanding controls and subsequent history enactments and practices which contradicts the original meaning of the constitutional text obviously cannot be overcome or alter that text. 100% right. Consistent with the rationale, the number of courts have already held that 18 to 20-year-olds belong to the people whose Second Amendment rights must be respected. That is one of the things that is going on across the country. There's tons and tons of cases, and every one of these cases have said 18 to 20-year-olds can own and carry firearms. Furthermore, the type of firearms 18 to 20-year-olds are banned from owning and carrying are protected by the Second Amendment. In Heller, the Supreme Court explained that arms that are in common use at the time for lawful purposes are categorically protected. Semi automatic firearms indisputably are in common use for lawful purposes, as are handguns. There, there is therefore no basis to ban their possession by a group of people who have full Second Amendment rights. And now it's going to say how he is damaged because, in order to get a preliminary injunction, you have to prove a few things. The things you have to prove is one, you're likely to succeed on the merits. That's where they were just doing there. Then you have to prove irreparable harm. Now, the irreparable harm in this case is going to be that Escher is having his rights denied. And if you get your rights denied, you can never be made whole by monetary means. And if you cannot be made whole from monetary means, that means that you have irreparable harm. So that is going to be a issue here. He wants to carry a Smith& Wesson semi-automatic handgun for self-defense. I think you really should go with a Glock and a AR-15, a semi-automatic rifle chambered in 5.56 for hunting and target shooting, which should be his right. Now, in order to get a preliminary injunction, you need a couple other things: the balance of interest. And since the balance of interest always lies with the people's rights being protected, the balance of interest should fall for Escher, which should be good. And public interest, they might want firearms, banned, but since the balance of interest falls for Escher, it doesn't matter what they want. The courts have to rule on the constitutionality of a law. And in this case, I think they're going to rule that the ban of 18 to 20-year-olds from carrying and owning firearms is very unconstitutional. Second Amendment of the United States Constitution guarantees the right of the people to keep and bear arms. This restriction incorporated against the Commonwealth of Massachusetts through the 14th Amendment. Okay, so you for a long time there was a theory that the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments, does not apply to the states. The 14th Amendment, which was ratified in 1868, said, no, you are wrong. The states are prohibited from actually doing anything against the rights of the, so that is good. And McDonald confirmed that. McDonald was a case that went up to the Supreme Court. Mr. McDonald has sadly passed away, but he was a Second Amendment warrior. The Commonwealth law prohibits law-abiding adults who are protected by the Second Amendment from possessing common arms that are protected by the Second Amendment. So basically, then talks about this law here creates a cause of action against states actors who deprive an individual right secured by the Constitution under the color of state law, and recognizes the right of equity to seek declaratory and injunctive relief to end the ongoing violation of federal law or the Constitution. Basically, this is where it says if a state violates a person's right, the courts must step in and issue a declaratory judgment and injunctive relief, which will probably be through a preliminary injunction and hopefully a permanent injunction with a motion for summary judgment going for the plaintiffs. Escher is a member of every one of the organizations that were listed, and his rights were violated by the state. The defendant's enforcement of the provisions and any related statuses, regulations, policies, practices, and customs is an infringement and an impermissible burden on the right of 18 to 20-year-olds, including members of the organizational plaintiffs, such as Plaintiff Eckert, to keep and bear arms pursuant to the Second and 14th Amendment of the United States. Defendants' enforcement of these provisions and any related regulations, policies, practices, and customs force 18 to 20-year-olds to either comply with the constitutional mandate, thereby forfeiting unconstitutional mandates, sorry, not constitutional, forfeiting their right under the Second Amendment and 14th Amendment of the United States, or be subject to criminal prosecution. Therefore, a direct and proximate result of the above infringement and impermissible burden of the Second and 14th Amendment to 18 and 20-year-olds, members of the organizational plaintiffs, as Plaintiff Escher has suffered and continues to suffer from an awful and irreparable deprivation of his constitutional right to keep and bear arms. This is what they want here. The prayer for relief is what they want. They want to declare the ban on 18 to 20-year-olds adults possessing and carrying semi-automatic firearms and handguns, consisting of blah 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 blah, and all related laws, regulations, policies, procedures violate the right to keep and bear arms as guaranteed under the Second and 14th Amendment of the United States. And they want the courts to permanently enjoin each defendant's representatives, employees, officers, agents, and representatives, and all those acting in concert and participation with him or her from enforcing the ban on granting 18 to 20-year-olds adults the license to carry, such that the defendants allow 18 to 20-year-old adults to apply for and be granted a license notwithstanding. Okay, you might want to ask, like, why aren't they going for constitutional carry? And the answer is simple. They probably want to, but it is almost impossible. So there it is. And I missed a super chat. I think I missed the super chat. Damn it. Sorry. My computer is acting up. Let's see if I'm if big drag. I guess I didn't. Yeah, no, I didn't. All right. So let's go back over here. They also are asking for attorney fees. They always ask for attorney fees. Usually that does not get done. Usually they usually hardly ever award attorney fees, even though they really should award attorney fees, but they don't. It's kind of ridiculous. Possession is one thing, license to carry is another thing, and hopefully they will both go away eventually. How dare Rich not show up for this? Half the fun is ribbing him while Crump keeps us informed. Thank you, Barton Fink. So yeah. So this was filed. These are some of the attorneys here that are on it. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what exactly happens, but this is a good thing here. This is a very good thing. And hopefully we will get this through, and hopefully this law will get smacked down forever, and we will become a free nation of people that will be able to end this stuff. And that is 100%. The Commonwealth does need an enema, as the Joker would say. All right, guys. That is it. And we are going to get out of here. Thank you for so much for watching, and have a good weekend. I had another video that was going to come out, but I'm going to push it back until tomorrow. And then I got another video the day after on my birthday. My birthday is Sunday. I'll be 49. God damn, I'm getting old. 1 year away from 50. Jesus. I don't feel like I'm 50 though. I know I don't look like I'm 50, but I really don't feel like I'm 50 either. So, yep. Super chats would be nice. It's all gonna go to charity, by the way. But yeah, 49. Yeah, crump don't crack. Yeah, I'm not a young pup. I am old as you ain't 50 until you are 50. I know I look younger. People always think I'm like in my like 30s for some reason, and I'm not, but what can I do, right? Never be as old as you. That is true. Happy birthday, Jordan Vinro, Gideon Optics. Jordan Vinro is a freaking fantastic guy here, and I love him to death. You guys haven't checked out Gideon Optics, you really need to check out Gideon Optics, JFD Supply, Patmo Slides, Eagle Shows, and I think he's at an Eagle Show right now, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure he is. Nice. Send it over. Add it to the stuff. I got a couple big stories that are coming out. One is going to rock everyone's world. Trust me. It's gonna shake the internet and probably yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be allowed into another state really soon. I think they're gonna one of the other states I'm gonna report on is gonna put a hit on me or something, or just ban me from entering their state, which might happen. Yeah. All right, guys. That is it. Thank you so much for watching. And with that, we are out of here. We'll watch my new video that's coming out tomorrow. Check me out on Rumbles. And I do have the locals, johncrump.locals.com. There's massive plans for the locals. We're going to be doing a lot on the locals. And I want you guys to ride with me through that locals because it's going to be freaking awesome. All right, guys. We are gone and send that email over, Jordan.